How you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic, Tom. How about yourself?
Hey, good, good. Yeah, hey, I'm gonna turn it over to you, and I know you've got a power-packed session here this morning. Talk about opportunity, man. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah,
It's all
thank
you.
you. Thanks so much, Tom. Appreciate everybody showing up today. For those of you that are already USA Home Bids certified, we appreciate you, and I guess I'll quasi apologize, but you have had that tool for a while. We have completely switched our website, and we have built a new platform from the ground up, and we are offering this, and I promise it's one time only today. Talking to Tom and the group, we wanted to put a tool in everybody's toolbox that will allow them to acquire more listings and give them a better opportunity to close the listing presentations that they are making. At the end of every presentation that I make, I actually do what's called a alternative close, where you can choose one item or the other. I asked them, would you rather do a traditional listing or would you do a USA Home Bids listing? And by the end of this class, which by the way is going to be 45 or 50 minutes, you will be ready to take an exam and become home bid certified. Normally, it's $149 for non-EXP members and $99 for EXP members. So you're getting at least $100 value here for today for free. I just put in the chat box the actual link to the class that you're in right now, which is atomicteammeeting.live. If you want to send that out to anybody, somebody that you're trying to attract, anybody in your group, whatever you would like, as long as they're here for, 75, 80% of the class, they should be able to pass the exam at the end. So you're going to need to stay until the end. We'll put an exam link at the in the chat box, and if we don't put an exam link in the chat box, it's because my assistant hasn't made it here. And what we'll do is we'll put a link where you can put your information, and I will send you the exam. If you take the exam today and you pass, we will send you all of the certification information, and you'll be certified for free. Additionally, we will take you through your very first transaction, start to finish, to make sure that you have done it correctly. We won't leave you hanging. I know there's a lot to learn in a very short period of time, and I'll try to get through this deck as quickly as I can, so we have 5 or 6 minutes for questions at the end. Anything before I start, Tom? Anything that you would suggest before I start?
Well, maybe you could just share the history of this and why you created it.
Sure. I will tell you the quick story before I start, and then we'll jump in because there's a lot of content. When I first got into real estate, I could not fail. I was coming out of a corporate job. I have 5 dependents, 4 kids, and my wife. They all depended on my salary. I took every course known to man, including one very similar to what you're about to take now. When I originally took this one, I didn't think it was very interesting, and I didn't think it's a tool I would use, right? So I just put it in my hip pocket. However, I was sitting at a listing presentation, and I had landed, even though I was very young in my career, every listing presentation that I've been in, I had landed the listing. At the end of this one, the husband and wife said, "Hey, we really appreciate your time today. We're going to be interviewing other agents." And I was like, holy crap, what did I do wrong? And so I remembered they asked me additional questions about the length of my listing agreement and the amount of commission that I was charging. I was asking for 5%, 2.5 for me, 2.5 for the buyer's agent, and I was asking for 4 months. Back then, it was taking about a month or so to get a property like that into contract. So I was going to get paid 2.5% in 60 days, right? 30 days to get into contract, 30 days to close if I landed that listing. Well, I really quickly went back to this class that I took, and I said, hey, before I leave, I do want to offer a new technology that a lot of people are afraid of, and I don't lead with it. But I never leave a listing presentation without offering it. We have another platform that I could use instead of a traditional listing, where instead of 5% commission, you only pay 3. And instead of a 4-month listing, it's only 13 days. Is that something that you would be interested in? And the answer to that question was, we are interested in anything that saves us time and money. Please explain, right? He almost got mad at me, the husband. So I walked him through the platform. They signed the listing agreement before I left, and I was hooked, from that day forward. I can tell you there's a lot of crazy stuff that happened in the next couple of days, but I don't have time to go into that right now. And it absolutely works. So now every listing presentation that I do, I offer both, because you never know which one a buyer is going to be more interested in. I usually can tell which way they're leaning, but you never know for sure. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right in to the presentation. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, thumbs up. Perfect. All right, cool. Hey, so today we're going to talk about USA Home Bids. This is the certified agent training. I normally do it with Amir Chachkovich. He's the marketing arm. So I'm going to go over some of the marketing stuff myself. He's currently visiting his family overseas, his parents. So I'm going to show you some of the success stories. I don't care what state that you're in and what kind of property it is. This absolutely works. If you look at the upper left-hand corner, that's a fixer property in Florida, right? You could tell it's kind of a dump. Started at 99,000, 156 bids, ended up at 232. Extremely happy seller of that fixer property. Bottom left, a little townhome in Aurora, Colorado. So we've got the ocean, with the whatever close to the equator, and now you got the Colorado mountains. So two completely different locations. Worked in both. Upper right-hand corner, fourplex fixer in the Sacramento area, really set up as two duplexes. Absolute, trashed. We actually couldn't get the seller to agree to the right listing start price, but it still worked. They were hoping for about 3.25. We got 360 on that one. That's Sacramento, California. Bottom right-hand side, beautiful home in Oregon, right? Same thing, worked fantastic. Showing you four more before we move on. Top left-hand side. So now we were in the Southeast. Now we're in the Northeast. New Jersey worked spectacular. That was actually a bank-owned foreclosure. Top right, fully rehabbed property in Lafayette. They were looking for 1.4 million. We actually got 80,000 more. You will find if you do this correctly, you will end up above retail value. Then bottom left-hand side, Walnut Creek. There is no more of a fixer than the property that's got no siding and no front door. And when you went inside, there was it was rough plumbing, almost done. And a lot of framing done and no electrical done. And that was it. I mean, it was a disaster. 1.295 million on the bidding platform. And then finally, bottom right, now we're in the desert, right? Arizona. I just wanted to show you 8 completely different properties and locations, highly successful. So what is Home Bids? It's actually a blend of auctions and traditional real estate. Right? We take the best features of both. Now, I want to be very clear. It is not an auction. We do not have an auctioneer's license. We are currently working in 22 states with EXP, and we have 22 of the EXP brokers that have signed off on it. If you are in a state where we haven't done a transaction before, please get me involved early, and I will work that broker of that state through what we do to make sure they're comfortable with it, and I'll show them some of the accommodations that we've made. Now, that being said, some of the MLSs are still asking us to click the auction box and put specific language in the public remarks to be as transparent as possible. We also have a caveat that we're working on right now. I'm sure that you've heard there's a big lawsuit that the National Association of Realtors lost. I've been talking about this in 4 years of training on this class, that this lawsuit was out there, that NAR lost in Missouri. So our buyer's premium that we charge on the platform is now going to be able to be adjusted by the buyer's agents to make sure that we fall within the acceptable range if this lawsuit holds. So this is going to be an excellent solution moving forward. What is the buyer's premium? It is what we add on during the bidding process to come up with the purchase price of the property. So if somebody bids on a property, this happens in $1,000 increments, and the bidding is over, and the winning bid is $100,000. If we're charging a 3% buyer premium, then the buyer premium is $3,000. And when you write your purchase agreement, on the purchase agreement, it's going to be $103. This is extremely important. All commissions are going to be paid on the $103. And for all of you math wizards out there, you'll realize that there's a couple of bucks that are going to be different here. But essentially, when folks ask, what is the buyer's premium? That is covering the buyer's agent and 0.5% that goes to the platform at the conclusion of escrow, right? When escrow closes. You can adjust that $3,000 if the buyer's agent is willing to take less than the 2.5%, and we can get into that later. What is so great about this? If you guys have seen Harcourt auctions or a whole bunch of other ones, right? They charge upfront fees to the seller because they got to cover their costs. We don't do that. There are no risks, zero risk. If your seller wants the most risk-free environment in the world, this is it. It's a 13-day listing. We go from Thursday to the second Sunday on the bidding process, and then to the following Tuesday on the entirety of the listing agreement, 13 days, right? Wednesday to Tuesday, not Wednesday to Wednesday, but Wednesday to a Tuesday. which is 13 days later. I'll explain how that works. They get to see every single bid online. This is a transparent platform. The entire goal is to make real estate as transparent as possible and to keep us all out of trouble in our current environment. The bidding process is conducted entirely online. Let me explain something. If you list a property through USA Home Bids and you tell somebody, hey, don't bid, just make an offer after the bidding is over, you have completely destroyed the system. It will absolutely not work. You tell everybody, I do not take anything outside of the bidding process. Once the bidding process has concluded, the top bidder gets the opportunity to present their offer first. We keep the integrity of this process super high. Buyers can get approved by you, the listing agent, one of two ways. We approve an agent, we approve a buyer with an agent, or we approve a buyer without an agent. And oftentimes agents will have those buyers that don't have agents become their future clients. So this is also a spectacular way to get buyers. Most of my home bids listings, my buyer's agent team gets 2 or 3 qualified buyers that they work with going forward on other properties. This will absolutely change your business. If you haven't put down your phone and turned it over by now, you should be. If you're browsing on the internet, you should stop. This will change your business if you do it correctly. Not only that, you will be able to land canceled, expireds, and for sale by owners better than ever before. Next Thursday, which I think is the 15th, 14th, 15th, somewhere in there, from noon to 2 Pacific Standard Time, I am running a class where I land listing appointments for you for free on for sale by owners in your area. I will show you how it works. I put my money where my mouth is. Oops. The property will be available only during open houses. If you have an occupied property, you're only going to make it available during open houses because it is an absolute zoo. We have hundreds of people through our open houses because we price them very aggressively to start. I know I'm not the most loved person in Sacramento because I run this platform a lot, but my sellers love me and we close a lot of deals and I get lots of listings and I have very happy clients. It works on any market condition. As a matter of fact, we're seeing uptick right now in folks using the platform, which is fantastic. I have a listing, again, just to tell you I put my money where my mouth is, starting tomorrow, 2500 Castine Court, here in the Northern California, Sacramento area on the corner, right on the corner of Folsom and La Riviera in that area. It's a pretty nice area. I'm putting my listing on the platform at $249 starting tomorrow. So if you're in Sacramento, get ready for your phone to ring on my listing. Again, it's way better than all of the other platforms, in my opinion, because there's no non-refundable deposits. It's completely transparent. We don't lock people into long-term listing contracts, and we have rebuilt the platform from the ground up so it works flawlessly. I know if some of you were using this platform a couple of years ago, on Sunday, if we had 7 or 8 properties that were closing at the same time, the program would slow down. The reason that we're offering this for free today is because we want to test the volume on the new platform. Also, if you get certified today, from tomorrow, hopefully when I meet with all of our partners through the end of the year, we're going to give you a special discount on the 0.5% that you pay to home bids, just so that we can continue to test the system. However, we think it's working flawlessly. You will land more sellers and your listings will bring buyers. One of the things that I love about this is I am not a big fan of Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor. All of them are taking our clients' information, our listings, they're repackaging it in a much better way than we can. And then they're charging us to get leads from our own information, which kills me, right? But sellers will love this because they're leveraging new technology. They're watching the bidding online. Again, they're going to know what they're going to get for their property in 11 days or less. They're going to pay half a commission because they're only paying you, right? That buyer and the buyer's agent are bringing in a premium, and that premium is going to pay their agent and the platform fee, which is exactly what that NAR suit is talking about. And here's what I was saying. We always start, by the way, the test question is going to say start 33% below. So test question number 1, make sure you discount at least 33%. However, I highly suggest you discount 50%. That property of my own, which I'm putting on the platform tomorrow, that one should sell for around $500,000. I'm starting the platform price at $249. Here's what will happen. People are smart nowadays. They will track you down. They will say, hey, Russell, I see this property on Realtor, and I see that Tom Dave's name comes up as the guy that's paying for leads, but I realize he's not the listing agent. I look all the way to the bottom and I see it's you. I want to work directly with you on this property. Now, they're trying to, get you to double end it to try to save themselves a couple bucks. But what I'm telling you this is because they are now representing that they have no agent. They're looking for a property, and these are people that you can put into your CRM. And I have closed a lot of deals from these folks. As a matter of fact, many people on my team, I don't know if Ryan's on this call, Ryan captured 2 giant investors that he's selling properties for every month by attending my open houses, because the open houses are an absolute zoo. Again, I guarantee you, if you come to my open house this weekend, there will be more than 100 people through on Saturday and more than 100 people through on Sunday. We have lots of really good techniques to capture them, like the off-market binder. I just don't have time to go into it today, but I'd be more than happy to tell you how to do it at a later date. Again, tell your sellers to quit paying 6% commissions. We clearly break it down in the listing agreement that the seller is paying 3%, and that the buyer is bringing in a buyer's premium to cover their own agent and the bidding platform fee. So you're able to advertise essentially a 3% listing for your clients. It's absolutely spectacular. Full service. Going back to the reason that I originally signed up, and I love this thing, go back to that couple. I'm sitting in their kitchen. They've already told me that they're interviewing other agents. I was going to get paid 2.5% in 60 days, right? Remember I told you it was going to take 30 days to get into contract. Now with this platform, I'm going to be in contract in 13 days, and I'm making the full 3%. So I'm going to get paid 3% in 43 days, right on a standard 30-day escrow. So I'm getting paid more, and I'm getting paid faster. Who doesn't want to get paid more and want to get paid faster? It's always a good thing. Instead of what I had offered originally was 60 days and 2.5%, I was paying myself less and slower than USA Home Bids. On USA Home Bids, I was getting paid more and quicker, and the client was happier. Trust me, this will change your business. I know I've harped on it a number of times. 13-day listing contract. Multiple offers guaranteed. If you price your property at 50% of value to start off with, you will have 15 to 25 bidders, and you will have well over 100 bids. It's just how it works. You're going to have a ton of action on your property. You're going to be the hottest real estate agent in your market. Also, if it's an owner-occupied property, we offer minimal disruption. We do 5 open houses. That's a test question. That's what we recommend. Saturday, Sunday, 1 weeknight. Doesn't matter what weeknight. It matters what is best for your market. And then Saturday, Sunday again. If it is a vacant property, go ahead and let agents show it whenever they want. I don't care, right? As many agents that want to go in when you're not there, that's fine. I only then do 4 open houses, and I do them just on the weekends, just because I then am trying to capture buyers for my team. And you will have a ton of people that come into the property that are unrepresented, and you will absolutely blow up your business. Why do buyers like it? I know that it's not the same now, but I promise you the last couple of years, we were getting multiple offers, and we were putting people in highest and best situations. What is fantastic about this platform is the market determines the price. Every bid is completely transparent. You can see every bid, and it goes $1,000 at a time. Even now, actually, just like a month and a half ago, my brother and sister-in-law missed out on a property because we got stuck in a highest and best in Roseville. That would not be the case with this. You get to know exactly what the other buyer is bidding. And if you want to be the highest bidder, you just continue to bid. Now, I will let you know this. We traditionally ask you to end your bidding at 6 p.m. on a Sunday. It's been most effective. Unless, of course, that's a holiday. Then we move it to Monday or Tuesday, depending upon the holiday. However, USA Home Bids is like eBay and isn't like eBay. I'll get into this a little further in a minute, but you can set a high price, and the system will automatically bid for you until you either are the winner or you have been outbid. How it's not like eBay is eBay has a definitive ending time, 6 p.m. on Sunday. We do not. If the bidding is continuing to be active at 6 p.m. on Sunday, every bid will extend the bidding 12 minutes. That gives people a chance to recollect themselves, figure out exactly what they want to pay, sharpen their pencil, and make another bid. I have had bidding that has lasted an hour and a half to 2 hours after 6 p.m. on Sunday. And don't worry if you're doing your first one and you're nowhere near where you want to be on Saturday. Lots of bidding happens Sunday afternoon right before the conclusion of bidding. How do I register to bid? You can register to bid one to two ways. So either you're a buyer or you're an agent. You can register with a credit card to identify yourself, or they can ask you, the listing agent, for approval to bid. If they're asking me for approval to bid, I just ask them to send me proof of funds, and I get a good feel for where they're going to be in the bidding. The buyer's agent can bid on behalf of a buyer. So an agent can register themselves, and if they don't want you to know who their buyer is or have any of their buyer information, that's fine. They can bid on behalf of their buyer, and once they're the winner, they submit a purchase agreement on a normal car form. And after they submit that RPA on a car form, it's like the bidding platform never exists. The bidding is 100% transparent. They can see every single bid. There's no hidden bids. The only time you will every once in a while see the bid really jump is if somebody already had a predetermined high bid in. So for example, let's say that somebody's bidding on the property I'm going to put on the market for $249, and somebody has in there that their high bid's going to be $3.25. And it's only at like 260, but somebody else says, you know what, I'm willing to bid 400. The person who was willing to be 400 will jump that 3.25 to 326. They will be 1,000 over the 325. Where is the 3% buyer's premium explained? In a million locations. It's all over our new website. As a matter of fact, the new website, one of the things that you asked for is we actually calculate whatever buyer's premium you put in for them, and we tell them what price to write the RPA at. What is the buyer's premium? The only reason I put that in here a number of times is because you will get asked it 100 times. I'll tell you, the people who can explain the buyer's premium the best are my kids. I've done over 100 of these, and my kids have heard me explain the buyer's premium 1,000 times. If it's a 3% buyer's premium and the winning bid is 200,000, the buyer's premium is $6,000, and you're going to write the purchase agreement for 206. I will turn it over to my 10-year-old, and he will explain it better than anybody to agents. We are now going to go on bid on a property together. So this is what the new site looks like. I like blue, so we switched it to blue from black and red. So that's just me, my personal preference. You're going to hit the join or log in button. We were having a little confusion on this new site on whether or not an agent needed to be registered, like take this class to bid. They do not need to take this class to bid. All you have to do is have a pulse, essentially, to bid and a proof of funds, and we will let you bid. If you want to list a property, if you want to put this tool in your toolbox and use this during your listing presentations as one of the options for your sellers, you absolutely have to take this class to cover our insurance. So you go to open a new browser, you type in USA Home Bid, singular.com. As a matter of fact, I think we have both bid and bids now pointing to the same spot, but I haven't checked yet this morning. The bids was the old site. The bids is actually what we're going to advertise, but just to be safe, we're going to do usahomebid.com. You click join or log in. You're going to see my smiling face on the right-hand side, telling you the benefits for agents and how to use it on a short video. And it's super simple and very intuitive. First name, last name. We give a huge notification that you do not need to become a registered agent now if all you want to bid. We teach you how to create a password. All of you are going to do this because you are going to be certified after today. We have Toke Tam on here. She's already put the quiz into the chat box. Don't cheat. You're going to want to wait till the end because I'm going to continue to give away answers. If you pass the test today, you will be certified for free. We'll have Toke Tam put that in there a couple more times because I know some people joined a little after we started. You're going to register as an agent. You're going to insert your brokerage. If you're EXP, Keller Williams, Caldwell Banker, we don't care. Whoever you are, that's fine. Your DRE is actually your license number, just to make sure that you are allowed on the site. We make sure that you have an active license and that you're insured. We will send you an email. It's a two-step verification. We want to make sure that you're a real live person and not a bot. You go into your email and you confirm that you're you, right? Once you confirm that you're you, what we like you to do is you go in and we will, where that big circle in the red circle is over there, where it says not certified. Once you pass the test, we'll make you a certified agent, which means you'll have a dashboard and you can immediately start putting in listings. Please don't cowboy this like I did it the first time. When you're going to write a listing agreement, your very first time, send it over to me. I will look through it. I will make sure it's correct. There's specific language that you have to have in it. What is great is California and New Jersey and New York are the three probably most litigious states in the country. We've had it validated in all of those states. And so all of the language in our listing agreement should be good for whatever state you're in. Again, if we're not in your state already, I'll be more than happy to talk to your state broker to get your state certified. You're going to want to update your profile, put your picture in there. That's my partner, Amir Chachkovich's picture there, the smiling face. You're going to click on the add a listing button when it comes time to add a listing. Very, very simple. It's all intuitive. It takes me about 15 to 20 minutes to put a listing in my multiple listing service. It takes me about 3 minutes to do it inside of USA Home Bids. The only thing that you would want to know prior to is when you're going to have your open houses. Again, I'm going to be listing one tomorrow. And so, I should know what my open houses are prior to. Those are the things that are a little difficult to adjust. That change is coming also. Please don't forget your password. We have admins. We can help you change your password, but once you put it in there, you'll be good. Also, if you look in the middle of the screen, some people do not want buyers to be able to approve themselves with a credit card. I know our Arizona state director wanted this button, so you can turn it off where they actually have to ask for your permission. I highly suggest you don't do this unless you're going to be very, very available Sunday evening, because let's say at 5:30, you have somebody that just went to your open house at 4, right? They love it. They get registered at 5:30 and you forget to approve them. And you've now eliminated a bidder from the bidding platform. So I allow them to get certified with a credit card. Sometimes they panic. They ask for your permission. Somehow you missed it. You're at dinner, birthday party, whatever. They can immediately get approved with a credit card and start bidding on the property. All of the stuff, again, is intuitive, like the bid start date and start time. So I can go put that listing in today and say the bidding is going to start tomorrow, which is what I'm going to do, right? And then they can go bid as soon as the time is started. Bid in date, again, on a Sunday at 6 p.m. And please don't change our system. Please. Start at 50% of value. Again, the test question is going to be 33% off of market value. I'm telling you 50 works better. We've tested it a bunch. We are going to change that test question in the future. Make sure you do 5 open houses. Make sure you list on a Thursday. According to NAR, listings on Thursdays net $3,000 more than any other day of the week. Why would you not use science? Make sure that you have open houses that first weekend. I start my social media advertising campaign on Friday. And shame on you as a listing agent if you don't do any social media, right? That's what you need to do today. You can target your audience other than, age or sex or, social class discrimination, but you can target your audience really, really well with real estate social media marketing for a couple dollars a day. If you don't know how to do that, send me a personal email and I will take you through my 5-week class that I have on YouTube on how to do it. Here are the open houses. It's just the regular stuff that you would normally do. When you enter your pictures, hopefully you have your photographer that has created them for internet viewing, right? And they'll come over in medium format. You have 100 megabytes of space. If you have them in high def, they're probably not going to fit. Maybe they will, but as long as you have them and prepared for internet, they will fit. It's 100 megabytes total for your entire package. I also highly suggest you do your YouTube link. That will help with your search engine optimization. Again, that's all part of the big search engine that's helping drive your property to the top. And I know many people like their 3D models. You can put both those links right here in the space on our new platform. One of the other big enhancements for those of you that use the old platform is you do no longer have to put in a manual form. So you used to have to sign a manual form, send it over to us. We'd recognize that we had received it. And then after we receive the manual form, we would make your property live. Nope. You can make your own property live now. You don't have to wait for us. And the tech fee agreement is right here. If you haven't listened, listen up because it's another test question. If you use the platform to market your property and you're the listing agent that sells the property within 180 days of the property going on the platform earns 0.5%. Right. And you're responsible for getting that demand over to escrow for the 0.5%. Now, you're not paying it. Your client's not paying it. Right. That's part of that buyer's premium. So just be prepared that you do owe 0.5% if you close that deal within 6 months of putting it on the platform. Here is where you click the box that says you accept that tech fee agreement. You do understand that if you close the sale, you owe 0.5%. If you lose the listing for some unknown reason, which would be terrible, and some other agent closes it, you don't owe anything. If you never close the deal, you don't owe everything. It's only if you close the deal do you owe USA Home Bids 0.5%. If you're searching, you go to listings and you type in the search bar now, which is another good enhancement of the new system. You know, the city, the state, the part of the address, just the name, whatever. The search engine is much stronger, and we will find the property for you and you'll be able to bid. It's not that difficult once you get in there. I think that everybody can see the giant red bid now button. So a couple of words, if you click on the picture, right, which is at top, you're only going to get the pictures. You have to cut out of the pictures. If you actually want info on the property, you have to click on the address. I think what we're going to do in the next upgrade is if you click anywhere on it, it's going to take you to the property with the pictures. If you want to click on the pictures separate, you can. But hopefully it's relatively obvious. If you want to bid, you click on the big red I can't even say that. The big red bid now button, right? And that takes you to bidding on the property. Once you click on a bid now, it's going to bring you to this, and you're going to put in the price that you want to bid, and you're going to click on bid now. It is going to ask you, if you've never registered before, to register. And this is what we talked about. There's 2 ways to register. It's going to default to credit card. We do not charge anybody. This is for informational purposes only. We don't want a neighbor bidding up the property hoping to increase values of their home, right? So this is for identification purposes. Or if you look on the right-hand side, they can request listing agent approval. And if they do that, you're going to get an email that looks just like this. Hi, Amir has requested your approval to bid. All you have to do if you've talked to this person and already received his proof of funds is click on the accept button, and they will be actively bidding. All right. That's a quick rundown of the system. I know I'm going fast. I usually teach this class in about 2 hours, but today we're going to do it much quicker. Sellers need to see the price and understand that it's just the starting bid price. It's very important that you use this language on your listing agreement. What I will tell you is, if you've sold somebody on this platform, they're going to be a little nervous, right? Because they've never heard of it before, or it's going to be relatively new to them. So you're going to want to make sure that you do a really nice job of making them feel safe. I never send the listing agreement unless they are on the phone with me and we are going over it on, their computer at the same time, or I'm in front of them. Don't just send them a listing agreement, because they're going to see a couple things that freak them out, which shouldn't freak them out once you get to the right language and you walk them through the listing agreement. So you told them, hey, it's a 13-day listing. They're only paying 3% and that they're not locked into anything. So right here, it says the seller agrees that the list price is actually the starting bid price as the subject property is being sold during this online process, right? Gives the seller the right to accept, counter, or reject any bid. Remember, I told you that you're not locked in. You get to accept, counter, or reject any bid. The seller's going to say yes. Perfect. That's where it says that. 100% safety, right? No worries. The other thing that may freak them out is still, and part of the reason that NAR is in trouble, is the seller is required to release all commissions. So the listing agreement is still going to say 6% in one spot, but it's going to say see additional info. And we're going to show you the additional info in a minute. That's why I always walk my clients through this. I have never lost a client when I have walked them through the listing agreement. Here in the state of California, this is a state of California form. In section 2, we have 180 days. So you want to protect yourself on these. We have had clients, unfortunately, that after the 13 days have canceled with us and then closed the deal with the highest bidder outside of us, and we've had to go collect our commission. That's where this 180 days comes into account. Anybody that's a registered bidder, or anybody that you took through your open house app, whether you're using Follow Up Boss or KV Core or Command or whatever you're using, right? You want to provide a list to your seller of all the people that you showed the property to, so that if you still do a commission when they close, you get paid. On the bottom right-hand side is the commission that you're offering to the buyer's agent, which is 2.5%. I wouldn't be surprised if that changes to negotiable, right? And that's part of what our platform will allow you to do. That's just not what we're at today. So again, the 6% is key, the 180 days is key, and the 2.5%. Now, your client may say, what the heck, 6%? I thought you told me 3%. Absolutely. We have additional language. And it says this, hey, remember, we're charging a buyer's premium of 3%. So of that 6, you're coming to the table with 3. The buyer's coming to the table with 3. The trick is at the end, on the closing, you have to agree to release the 3 to me. I'm your listing agent. And you have to also agree to release the 3 that was brought in by the buyer, 2.5 to the buyer's agent and 0.5% to the platform, right? So they just have to agree to release it. What I normally do is I take them to the additional terms here first. And if you go look for the text overflow addendum in car forms, you're not going to find it. It only happens when you have a text overflow. We have all of the language prepared for you on a resources page. Once you have passed the test, we will send you this language. And before you do your first listing, I will take you through it myself. Now you're ready to list on the MLS. Some folks do require us to market as auction. Some do not. So you're either going to hit none or you're going to hit auction. Also extremely important, in the private agent remarks, you have to have when it's ending, where it's ending, how much the premium is, and that the seller reserves the right to accept, reject, or counter the bid. Again, in your welcome package, you're going to get all of this once you have passed your exam. Extremely important that you put this language in the confidential agent remarks. Listen carefully. Nothing goes into the public remarks. You're not allowed to put links. You will get in trouble. The only thing that we do in certain markets is that we either put bidding platform or auction before our description. Some markets, we do nothing. It just depends on what the market wants us to do, and we try to follow all their rules. We will not do this one. We'll just move on to the next one here because we do not have time for a video. All right. Once you enter your listing is live. You can manage the entire process. You can void bids. You are the one that's approving everybody. I would go check in every now and then just to make sure that you don't have anybody sitting there that's ready to be approved because you missed an email, right? And that happens on your dashboard. Remind the bidders when they're calling in that it can last for hours. You don't want an angry agent at you because they didn't realize that on Sunday evening they might be sitting around for 2 hours, getting these bids in. Also, if you want your property to be successful, you still need to continue to market it. Market it the original Friday for a week long on social media, right? For 9 days, basically. You want to make sure that you email, text, call all of the registered bidders. So the people that have taken the time out to register, make sure they understand what the comparables look like in the marketplace. I have lots of templates we're going to share with you. I do a ton of text, email, and phone conversations helping these people out, making sure they understand what's going on. Contact all of the bidders. We just talked about that. You want to make sure too that before you end the bidding, that you utilize all of our templates and make sure that your marketing is done very well. You want to collect 3 offers if possible, but always 2. The answer to the test question is collect 3 offers. However, you're always going to have 2 that are only $1,000 apart. For example, the property I'm listing tomorrow on my platform, I'm going to list for $249. Let's say it ends up where I thought it would end up, and I have one bid at $500,000, and then the winning bid is $501. The bid at $500,000, they're going to write an offer for $515, right? The other one's going to write a bid or an offer for $516,300 if you follow the math, right? So they're only going to be a very small, $516,030. So they're only going to be about $1,000 apart. You want those 2 offers, and your email is going to go out saying, hey, write the strongest offer you can. The last 2 bids were only $1,000 apart. Terms and conditions matter. This will help you close more deals, and your sellers will love seeing a backup in place. And again, we have all of this stuff in emails. We have all kinds of tools for you. It's fantastic to have a backup offer in place. This is what the tool looks like. This is all of the emails that I sent out that I've created over the years, making sure that I drive the bidding to the right place and that we have deals that close. This is what the demand looks like and the W-9 for the 0.5% that you're going to owe to USA Home Bids. Again, this is going to be part of your resource package as soon as you pass the exam. All right. Let's talk about some of the keys to success, and I know I've already reviewed a few of them. Here it says 43% below market value. The test question is 33%. I say 50. I'm doing all mine 50% below. Ensure your listing is on the MLS, and it is really important that you click the button that says syndicate to all of the other websites. If you're not a listing agent, make sure you syndicate so it ends up on Trulia, Redfin, Zillow. These are all going to be your friends. By the way, people that are paying for leads on these sites are not going to like you. I'm just telling you ahead of time. Set your bidding timeline for 11 days. Unless that Sunday falls on a holiday, then you're going to push it forward. Double check that your end of bidding is 6 p.m. local time. Make sure your listing agreement has the correct language. Do not call this an auction unless you're required to by MLS. It's not an auction. We do not have an auctioneer's license. If you're in MetroList or one of the partners of MetroList, they do require us to call it an auction. I can walk you through that. Also, in your welcome package, you're going to get frequently asked questions for buyers and agents. You're going to want to attach this just like you would disclosures. And in your private agent remarks, you're going to say FAQs. By the way, I apologize now. As soon as you list one of these, your phone rings nonstop. It absolutely explodes. You're going to want to make sure that all agents have the FAQs available to them in MLS, because it's going to save you at least 110, 15 callbacks, right? You're going to want to make sure that you have this in your listing or your phone will explode. By the way, I'm going to do a quick break because I see Trevor smiling. Trevor, am I right?
Yes.
Trevor did one of these a couple weeks ago. How many calls do you think you got?
Oh, well, I will say this. I did at least put some of those FAQs in there, so it helped, but I probably got 20. And by the way, I had 104 people at my open house. I just did 2, one for 4 hours on Saturday, and that was because of a totally different deal, but I had over 104 people at my open house.
Awesome. Yeah, I am not lying. This will absolutely change your business. I post a series of short videos on my social media account. I go in and do it myself. Helps your social media. It's the right thing to do. You can create a squeeze page on KV Core. It's free at EXP. If you guys know how to do squeeze pages, it's absolutely free, costs you nothing. I can walk you through that. Actually, you can go onto my YouTube and I walk you through how to do that. Make sure you hold 5 open houses. Please take professional videos and pictures, right? That's your brand, not the house. If somebody says, oh, he doesn't care, you should care. That's your brand. Make sure that they're professional. Not only that, that's going to be better for your YouTube and better for your SEO. Send out the marketing emails at the last weekend, most specifically that last day, and call and email all the top bidders. Keep them engaged and keep them bidding. The new platform is sending out a ton of this stuff for you, right? I'm trying to help you be successful. So I just put in there a list of all of the items that are actually going to be done for you, right? All of those are automated. After you, and we're done, by the way, with the training. So if Tam, if you want to put the link one more time, it looks like she did at 9:42, which I know I'm really close to how long I told you guys I was going to take. And I slammed you through this training. So please make sure if you're going to use this tool, feel free to sell it. I think you got enough today to sell it, but then call me so I can walk you through your first listing. I'll walk you through putting it in online. I'll walk you through your listing agreement. There's a guy, Jose. I just did that for him yesterday. I walked him through his listing agreement. We got it all right. He left out 3 things. So right now, if you would like, feel free to go take that exam. And if you take it today and you pass it today, you have 0 cost. 0 cost. It's the one time only. I promise we're ever going to offer it. And then Tam, if you would do me a favor, anybody that passes today, what we'll do is I have a meeting tomorrow with the board, and we're going to come up with a special promotion where we're going to reduce that 0.5% for the rest of the year. We're trying to put a little pressure on the system. So we're going to reduce that 0.5% for the rest of the year. Any questions? I know I told everybody I'd be done at 9:50. It is 9:45. So I wanted to leave 5 minutes for questions. If you're already certified, then you don't have to be certified. You do not have to retake the test. But you do want to make sure that you show up as certified on the new platform. Tam has put her number in there. That's 310-995-0747. She is the one that runs all of that. So feel free to connect with her to make sure that you're certified. And again, I would take the exam, even if you plan on never using it. I never plan on using it. And I got stuck in a listing and presentation and I used it, and I've used it ever since, and it's changed my business. Questions? Feel free. I got like 4 more minutes because I told all of you guys 9:50.
Great
Hey,
stuff.
Russell, I got a question for you.
Yep, shoot.
So does USA Home Bids do anything to drive traffic to the website, or are we marketing our properties just like we normally would and directing them to the website?
So we have not done any advertising, Stephanie, for 2 years because it's not ready. We have a full-blown program that's going to start January 1. And so it's still kind of a hidden gem, right? Unfortunately, Stephanie, I know you've rolled out systems and processes before. We thought this was going to be a 9-month build. August was month 24. And we dumped so much money into this. Every time we would enhance the platform, we would break 3 things. And so we just switched about 2 months ago to this new platform exclusively. We've worked out all of the bugs. And so to answer your question short term, between now and the end of the year, you're going to have to drive the traffic to your own website, put the link. You have to put the link to this site when you do a listing on the platform. It's required in the private agent remarks. And then starting in January, we're going to do a full-blown marketing campaign where we're helping you drive traffic to the website. And then we're going to try to we acquire listings on it already right now without even advertising. People will call us because they will see us in their market and they're sellers and they want to use our platform. So then we link them with one of our registered agents in that marketplace. But we are not doing anything other than word of mouth right now. That starts in January.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I had a question.
Yeah, what do you got?
I'm not sure if it was covered in the beginning. I'm sorry, I was a few minutes late due to work. What happens if the bidding doesn't meet the criteria for the asking price? Does that ever happen?
So the system works. If you price, so for example, just watch mine, right? So I put my money where my mouth is. Tomorrow I'm listing 2,500 Casting Court. It is worth 500,000 in my opinion, right? It's my flip. I'm going to list it at 249. If you list it correctly at 50% of value, I will not be surprised if it ends up over 500. And we all know it's in a tough market right now. I bought this flip, unfortunately, a really long time ago. We got red flagged in the middle of doing some construction stuff that I didn't think we needed a permit. So it took us way longer than we thought, right? And so we originally thought 500. Has there ever been a property that hasn't met, the quote unquote reserve price that our seller was hoping to get? Sure. Most of the time when that happens, it was the fault of us. We did something wrong. We priced it at 90% of value. Well, if you do that, then people that just think there's something wrong, you'll end up with no bidders and it won't work. That's why it's very important to follow the process. 50% of value, 5 open houses, social media advertising campaign, be an ambassador of the program, right? We do have agents that are just not nice to people when they call and turn them off to the platform, and that doesn't work. So if you use the system the way that it's intended, you're going to have a very, very high likelihood of success. Now, every once in a while, I have used the system knowing that the seller was asking for a price that didn't make any sense. I tried at the end to say, hey, listen, we started it. We had 115 bids. We had 17 people bidding. This is what the market says your property is worth. And I have reasoned with them to accept the offer that we received because honestly, it was above value anyway, right? However, we have had people that just have an unreasonable expectation of what their house should sell for. Once we finish the bidding process, they still don't want to sell it. What I try to do in that case, if I know I have a seller that is in that mindset, I try to decide if it's worth it for me to get 2 or 3 really good leads for my buyers and go through all the time, energy, and expense to list that property. And again, I would say I've done probably 120 this way. I've sold 110, right? Of the 10 that I didn't sell, most of them were unreasonable expectations of the seller that I thought I could eventually get them there. And then probably 50% I did and 50% I didn't. Hopefully I answered your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right.
Great,
Go ahead, Eric.
Russell.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last
no, I
question.
said this is really great. If I were doing a home bid thing, this is exactly what I do. You did great. Quick question on that note. Let's say in your circumstance that you bring up, market value is 500 for whatever reason, and you market at 250. You follow all the same things for whatever reason. The highest bid is 475, and the seller said, well, I wanted 500 and they don't. Do you see that very often where it comes close but not, or usually
No.
always?
No, if you do it right, we come in at value or a little above value.
Okay.
Like again, watch mine tomorrow. Right. And
Cool.
so again, if you guys want the, proof is in the pudding, it doesn't get better than this. My own personal property, my own money, I'm selling on the platform because I know I will make the most amount of money and I do it the exact right way because I've done it so many times. I have faith in the system. And I'll tell you, let's say I end up at 490. Well, most likely then that's telling me that the market is, a very small percentage off of what I originally thought, right? Especially if I have 15 plus bidder and over 100 bids, somebody's They're telling me, hey, this is what your property's worth, is actually 490. I wouldn't be surprised if I go a little over 500 on this one. I think it's probably worth right at 500. When I put it on the platform tomorrow, you all can take a look and see what you think. Yeah, home bids is with Kristen. The home bids is a regular contract. We'll send you the language that goes in the regular listing contract. It will work for almost every single state. There's only been one state that requires us to do something different, and I believe that was Louisiana. So if you're in Louisiana, I will show you what's different.
Quick question, and I hopped on late, so you may have covered it, and I may not know what I'm asking exactly, but has this been tested in a rural market?
Absolutely has been tested in a rural market. And Becky, depending upon how rural and how uncommon the house is, determines how we would do it. If it's a rural market and a very common house where, most of the people in that market would want that house, we traditionally suggest an 18-day bidding process instead of an 11. Yeah, one extra week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Russ,
Yes.
do you happen to have had any historically designated properties on the system yet that you're aware of?
Like, hey, this is a historical preserve
Yeah,
property for this town. You
cities
can't change
that
some things.
Yeah, like there's just restrictions. Do you know of any yet?
I have sold a number of those type properties. I don't remember if I sold any of them on home bids, Trevor. I think I would take it on a case-by-case basis. And again, the more normal the property, the more success you're going to have on the platform. So even though, like, for example, I'm doing a project right now for a bank in Oakland where we're having to preserve some beams and some rocks, right? And there's some historical value there, but it's a very common property in a common neighborhood. We will get value for that.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Tom, I think I'm like way over. So thank you,
this-
everybody. Make sure you take the test today. If you take it today, it's going to be free. And then anybody that's certified on the platform, we're going to come up with a special offer for you from now until the end of the year, so we can put a little pressure on the new system, which is working perfectly. And we would love your feedback. So feel free to email me anything that you think should change on the platform, because we now have the ability to make it better.
This was awesome. So take advantage of it. Right now in this market, there's a ton of opportunity. And this is definitely an arrow you need in your quiver to differentiate, to make a difference, to help your clients. And make sure that you attend his class on the 16th. If you don't, Verl Workman is going to be in town with Brent Gove for 2024 Business Planning Clinic at PCAR. Brent's flying in the best of the best. So if you don't have your ticket, if you don't have your flight, you need to get here on the 16th. So thanks, y'all. We'll see you later. Have a good day. Thanks, Russ.